Friends, about 66 million years ago, there lived some creatures on Earth that today have become nothing more than a story for us dinosaurs. These were the wild giants who ruled from the land to the skies. Their presence was everywhere, even in the icy deserts of Antarctica. But then, a small mistake. A piece of rock, traveling at a speed of 20 kilometers per second, struck the Earth and ended their story forever. It is believed that the impact of that rock caused such a massive explosion that its energy was equal to 10 billion atomic bombs like the ones dropped on the Japanese city of Hiroshima during World War II. Even though that rock was only 10 to 15 kilometers in size, the explosion caused by it wiped out more than 75% of all species. Any animal weighing more than 25 kilos did not survive, and dinosaurs were among those species. So yes, friends, today's video is based on the study of dinosaurs. In this video, we will discuss the complete story of dinosaurs from their birth to their extinction and also learn some facts you probably didn't know before. As always, this video will also be very interesting, so make sure you watch till the end. Now friends, if we talk about dinosaurs, their real story began in 1819. Because in that year, the first dinosaur fossil was discovered. Before that, the world had no idea about dinosaurs. Nor did people know that long before humans, such creatures lived on this planet. In 1819, there was a geologist named William Buckland. While studying geology in England, he suddenly came across some strange bones that had never been seen or heard of before. Yes, friends, these were the bones of a dinosaur. At first, he had no idea what kind of bones these were. But after studying them for 5 years, he realized that these were the bones of a reptile that had lived on Earth millions of years ago. It took him so long because, at that time, no one knew about dinosaurs. This was the very first time dinosaur bones were officially studied. He had found those bones in 1819, and in 1824, he gave this creature a name, Megalosaurus. This was the first time any dinosaur was given an official name ending with saurus. And if you've noticed, most dinosaur names end with saurus like Stegosaurus, Spinosaurus, Tyrannosaurus rex, and so on. But why is that? Let me explain. The word dinosaur actually comes from 2 Greek words, meaning terrible lizard. Dino equals terrible, saurus equals lizard. This name was given in 1842 by a British scientist named Sir Richard Owen. After studying many fossils, he felt that these were giant reptiles that lived long ago, so they looked somewhat like giant lizards. He gave them the name dinosaurs, meaning terrible lizards. In short, Richard Owen created an umbrella term dinosaur, under which all such reptiles could be grouped. Now, coming back to the topic, since William Buckland discovered the first dinosaur, you may wonder, had no one before him ever found dinosaur bones? The answer is, yes, many people had found them even thousands of years earlier. They didn't know what they were. For example, the Chinese discovered some dinosaur bones 2,000 years ago, but they thought these were the bones of dragons. People often related these bones to their religions or myths, calling them monster bones, thunderbirds, griffins, and so on. The Chinese specifically believed them to be dragon bones. As time changed, people's beliefs also changed. Instead of connecting them to mythical creatures, people began to rely on science. In 1677, a man named Robert Plot found a dinosaur bone. Since people didn't know about dinosaurs at that time, he thought it belonged to a giant human that once lived on Earth. Later, it was revealed that this was actually the femur bone of a Megalosaurus, the thigh bone. So, with time, people began to understand more and more about dinosaurs. By the 1800s, we had officially identified them, and since then, we have discovered thousands of species. On average, about 20 to 30 new dinosaur fossils are discovered every year, and who knows how many more will be found in the future. That was the story of the discovery of dinosaurs. Now, let's move forward and talk about their complete story, how dinosaurs first appeared, and what exactly caused their ultimate extinction. The story dinosaurs first appeared on Earth 252 million years ago, during what is known as the Mesozoic era, also called the Age of Dinosaurs. This era lasted from 252 million years ago to 66 million years ago, total of about 186 million years. The entire story of dinosaurs from their birth to their extinction took place within this era. The Mesozoic era is divided into three main periods: Triassic period, Jurassic period, Cretaceous period. So let's not waste more time and discuss these periods one by one. Triassic period. So friends, if we talk about the Triassic period, this was the time when dinosaurs first began to appear. This period started 252 million years ago, and it was during this time that dinosaurs evolved. Let's understand how. Before dinosaurs, many other creatures lived on Earth, but during the Triassic period, they began to go extinct. This period witnessed the biggest extinction event in history, known as the Permian-Triassic extinction. In this event, 96% of marine animals and 70% of land animals went extinct. This was the greatest extinction event in Earth's history. It is believed that this was caused by massive volcanic activity that lasted for millions of years. These eruptions released enormous amounts of lava, which in turn released large amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Due to this carbon dioxide, global warming increased, the climate became extremely harsh, and as a result, the largest extinction ever took place. But while most species were dying, dinosaurs were being born. That's because dinosaurs were animals capable of surviving in hot environments. They evolved from a reptile called Archosaurus, which looked like a crocodile. Archosaurs walked on 4 legs, but dinosaurs evolved to walk on 2 legs. Also, unlike archosaurs whose legs spread out from the sides, dinosaurs had legs positioned directly under their bodies, which allowed them to run faster. Over time, evolutionary changes in archosaurs gradually shaped them into dinosaurs. Now friends, during the time dinosaurs were evolving, the Earth had only one massive continent called Pangaea. All the land was joined together, surrounded by a single giant ocean. Pangaea was a supercontinent with vast stretches of dry land, harsh climate, and deadly heat. While other animals were dying in this extreme heat, dinosaurs were adapting to the environment. For example, look at this dinosaur Nisosaurus. Many scientists consider it to be the world's very first dinosaur. Its fossil is about 243 million years old, dating back to the early Triassic period. So it is possible that when archosaurs started evolving, Nisosaurus was the very first dinosaur to emerge. Here's another interesting fact. Tarchosaurs didn't just evolve into dinosaurs, but also into crocodiles. Dinosaurs went extinct later, but crocodiles survived. How did they manage that? Well, crocodiles had a streamlined body, tough scaly skin, and webbed feet, which made them perfectly suited for water environments. That's how they survived extinction while their dinosaur cousins perished. Coming back to the Triassic period, dinosaurs were indeed born during this time, but they were not yet very large or powerful. They slowly adapted to the environment and gradually increased in size over time. The Triassic period lasted from 252 million to 201 million years ago, a total of 51 million years. After this came the next chapter, Jurassic period, friends. The Jurassic period was the second period of the Mesozoic era, and it is often called the Golden Age of dinosaurs. Why? Because by this time, the extinction event was over, and the world was filled with new opportunities. Among the surviving species, dinosaurs were the strongest. This allowed them to become the dominant species on the planet. Now let's see what happened during this fascinating time. One of the most interesting events of the Jurassic was the breaking of Pangaea. The supercontinent began to split into 2 large landmasses. Laurasia gives included Europe, Asia, and North America. Gondwana gives included South America, Africa, Antarctica, India, and Australia. This breakup was a slow process that took millions of years. Later, these 2 massive landmasses further split into the continents we know today. During the Jurassic, dinosaurs grew much larger in size than before, and they established dominance in every ecosystem in land, in the seas, and even in the skies. You could say this period truly belonged to the dinosaurs. The climate of the Jurassic became humid. Now, what does humid mean? Scientifically, humidity refers to moisture in the atmosphere. So, the air contained water vapor, which made the heat feel even more intense. This climate, however, was perfect for dinosaurs. Because of the humidity, lush greenery spread across the Earth. The Jurassic period started about 201 million years ago. During this time, many new types of dinosaurs evolved, such as sauropods, the long-necked giants, theropods, the mediterranean predators, Archaeopteryx, the first bird-like dinosaur. I could go into detail about these species, but the video would get too long, so let's move on. The Jurassic period lasted from 201 million to 145 million years ago, a total of 56 million years. After this came the final chapter of the dinosaurs, the Cretaceous period. Cretaceous period, friends. The Cretaceous period was the last period of the Mesozoic era, and this was the time when dinosaurs had reached their peak diversity. In other words, during this age, dinosaurs were at their most powerful and had established their dominance all across the world. Dinosaurs were now present in every corner of the earth, but they had no idea that a massive catastrophe was waiting for them. So what exactly happened in the Cretaceous period? Let's take a deeper look. One of the most fascinating things that happened during this time was the formation of the continents. Yes, friends, because by this period, all the continents had broken apart and drifted into positions similar to what we see today. That means, unlike the earlier supercontinents, Earth now had separate land masses, and each continent had its own unique types of dinosaurs, although there were many dinosaurs alive during this period. Some of the most famous and powerful ones included Tyrannosaurus rex, T-Rex, Triceratops, Spinosaurus. These were some of the most legendary dinosaurs in history, and they evolved during the Cretaceous period. The climate of the Earth became even warmer and more humid, which created the perfect environment for dinosaurs. So, in many ways, the world was becoming more suitable for them. But at the same time, their end was also approaching. The Cretaceous period lasted from 145 million years ago to 66 million years ago, total of 79 million years. And after this came the Great Disaster, Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction. This was the mass extinction in which an asteroid struck the Earth, wiping out the dinosaurs along with 75% of all species on the planet. The asteroid's impact was so destructive that it completely devastated Earth's environment, making survival impossible for dinosaurs and many other life forms. Let's go into detail. Where did this asteroid come from? Where did it strike? And how much destruction did it cause? For centuries, scientists were puzzled about the origin of the Dino Killer asteroid. But in 2021, a study revealed that it actually came from the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Its name was Chicxulub, and it was pushed toward Earth by the gravitational pull of Jupiter and Saturn. The asteroid was only 10 to 15 kilometers wide, but when it hit Earth, the impact shook the entire planet. The exact impact site is in Mexico's peninsula. It's where today we can still see a massive crater, a permanent scar on Earth's surface that shows the unimaginable scale of destruction. The energy released by this impact was 100 million megatons of TNT, equivalent to 10 billion atomic bombs like the one dropped on Hiroshima. This energy was so enormous that it didn't just affect the impact zone, but it collapsed the entire global ecosystem. Here's what happened step by step when the asteroid struck. A massive fireball formed, melting the ground at the impact site into molten rock. Gigantic tsunamis spread across oceans, traveling thousands of kilometers and wiping out coastal regions. Shockwaves triggered massive earthquakes that shook entire continents. Huge amounts of molten rock were blasted into the atmosphere. When these fiery rocks fell back to Earth, they killed flying dinosaurs and ignited worldwide forest fires. Aftermath, but the destruction didn't end there. After the asteroid impact, Earth's atmosphere filled with dust and smoke, which blocked sunlight. Because of this, global temperatures dropped sharply, creating a kind of nuclear winter. Some dinosaurs that had survived the initial impact began to die because dinosaurs had never experienced extreme winters before. With no sunlight, plants couldn't perform photosynthesis, so they died. Plant-eating dinosaurs starved, and without them, the food chain collapsed. On top of this, the impact released toxic gases into the atmosphere, causing acid rain. These rains polluted oceans and seas, killing off marine life as well. So it wasn't just the asteroid-esque collision that killed the dinosaurs, it was the chain reaction afterward. Extreme cold, collapse of the food chain, acid rain, poisoned oceans, all of which led to the extinction of 75% of life on Earth, including the dinosaurs.